Hello and welcome to a video about programming in Unity. Thank you for joining me as I go through this adventure of creating a village simulator. So far so good, right? Well, last episode we got the goblin to wander around, so it'll wander, and then when it gets close, when the threat sensor senses a threat, it runs away. So I've been kind of thinking, how can we expand this uh, goblin? Um, what I was thinking is to have another action that says, actually, I changed the name of this to attack threat. We're going to create another action. We're going to call this flee from threat. All right. So let's see. How do we want to do this? So this is going to be another AI action. We've seen this before. And we got to do all the overrides again. These actions are a little bit easier than some of our other actions because it's using the sensors determining the target instead of the action finding a target. Override. And for this one, we're basically going to do let's see, set target, override, while. We're basically going to do, what are we going to do? We want to just move away from the target. So let's delete all this. We may or may not need this. Let's just return true. Just delete that for now. Delete that is valid. We'll just return true for now. And then leave that. Delete that. Okay. So if I look at the attack threat, that just does that. Performing the action, so it removes all this stuff when it performs it. So we're going to probably do the same thing, and then setting the target. Sure, we'll do that too. Just make sure. Pre-plan action. Nope, this isn't the set target. All right. This, and that's actually all it does. So the flee from threat doesn't move to the target. It needs to move away from the target, but this code, that's not what any of this code does. All this code does is when you get to a target, it just makes it null. So what I'm thinking of doing is, I'm glad I added that dummy location, because what we can do is we can use that dummy location in our threat sensor. So this sets the threat and says it's the current one. I wonder if we do this in a goal instead of our threat, because we kind of want this script just to find the threat, not to have to worry about, okay, are you fleeing from it? Are you going to attack it? This code probably shouldn't really handle that at all. but we can have a goal. Let me create a new goal. And we could call it the fear goal, I guess, maybe fear. Or how about a flee? What am I calling it? Flee. A flee goal. And what this goal is going to do is kind of control whether or not we're going to flee or not. And let me save this. Let me look at my other goal. Move to threat. That's not the goal. Just kind of see how I did it, because it's kind of similar. Attack goal. Yeah, so this is basically all it does. Actually, let me go to attack goal. Copy. Paste that in. All right. All right, what's going on? What am I doing? Focus. Focus, focus, focus. There we go. So that's that. We have no threat sensor. So we do need the threat sensor. Yeah, this doesn't need this anymore because it's not working. All right, so we got the threat sensor. When we, so we got a current threat. Now, what we want to do is move our dummy location somewhere else. And then this will set up the target for us. We're going to say serialized field, game object, dummy location. Dummy location. And then in here, we'll say, let's look at how I did the wandering. And we might have maybe we could set this up here, serialized field, game object, not game object, but a int flee distance. Let's just set 10 for now. And so let's see if I can find that wandering action, because it's going to be kind of the same. At least this is how I'm thinking. Let's see, where is that at? Move to location. Oh, wait. Maybe we want to do that here, actually. Let's go to the attack goal, flee from threat. Maybe we do it here then, instead. When we set the target, move to location. If target object equals null, we'll do it here. Okay. So it's very similar to all of this. It's basically it's basically a move to location. Maybe we don't even need this. Look how I spelled that one. Flee. Which one is it? This is a flee like a bug. This is a flee like you're fleeing from something. Maybe we don't need this action. Maybe the flee goal just does a move to location, just moves away. Because what will happen is, whether it goes left or right, it's going to move. But we really want this to be moving away from the moving away from it. And so a really easy way to do this is get rid of this. Copy all that. Let's go here. Max distance. I might even use max x distance. Yeah, y. Okay. Right now I'm not using these in my Wonder. It's just going back and forth. So let's incorporate that too. Basically, I'll copy this code, and we're going to say the Y position. We'll make this Y. And it will be from the position. No. We don't even need that. We need to just say the max Y. Or min Y. And this will be max Y. And then instead of doing the transform position, let's just say max Y. And I might as well do this in the wandering so we can get them going up and down. And this will use the max Y. Okay, now what I'm going to do is after I figure this out, I'm going to come in here and put these as defaults so that whenever I create another creature, I won't have to worry about what those are. Let's see, flee from threat. Okay, so if our AI agent dot current threat dot transform dot position dot transform, I don't know why I picked that, transform dot position dot x is less than transform dot position dot x. So if it's less than it, we are going to move to the right. So this is determine which way to flee. The nice thing about our system here is we don't really have to worry about like AI pathfinding. Not to say that that would be hard to do, but we don't. We're going to say minus the max distance. And we have to declare this outside of these if statements and then use them in here. And we can just say it's 0 by default. Okay, and then it can use it. So what was I trying to say? Oh, this should be random x. You know, it doesn't need to think like, okay, which way is the best way to get away from it? No, it just goes the opposite direction. You know, so let's leave that there. Let's change that down here. This needs to be random x or random y. Okay. And we got the flee goal. I need to change the name of it. So let me just save it and close this out so we don't have it there anymore. Yeah, random y. So this is setting it up. This is the flee thread, the goal. All right, let's go to this. And you guys know how this works. We play it, we think it's good, and then it's not good. Let's rename this to the correct spelling, to the flee. All right, so Let's let that handle that. All right, let's see how we can get this to work. We're going to go to our goals. Let's add a flea goal, and we're going to name it flea goal. AI agent. The check timer will be 1 single action. This is going to be a single action, so I'll put that in. The sensor, we need that sensor hooked up. Dummy location, we need dummy location. Do I need a dummy location? No, I don't. Because this is no longer doing the... And why is this not inside here? Okay. Alright, it's goblin, sensor, goals, priority. Let's make this priority 1, and we'll make this priority 2 for now. So it's going to flee. Flee distance 10. Okay. Let's go to the actions now. Let's add the flee from threat action. Our condition is, and let me just check this, is threatened. It's going to be the same thing. And the condition int is going to be 1. The cost, we should always put in a cost here. The duration, we're going to say fleeing threat. Duration is 0.1. We don't want to do it that long because we want to keep. Now we could, like, let's say we have like an awareness type of stat. Like this would be kind of good to kind of have variations within our creatures. Like we could have an awareness stat, and so maybe the awareness stat doesn't always kick in. Maybe it's like a random value. So the threat isn't just always collecting the thing. The threat would have an awareness to it. And the reason why I say that is right now, if I do it this way, I don't know if a villager were to try to attack a the goblin, it would be able to get away from it completely. Whereas if you did like an awareness, it wouldn't always necessarily start fleeing from it. If that makes sense. I don't know. We'll have to check on that later. All right. So the distance. Let me see if I can play real quick. Pause it. Let's see. Let me just grab this push here, and the y is 0. So we'll just say 0 from 0 to -7. Let's just do that. 0 to -7. So let's go to our actions here. 0 to -7, and then the wandering needs that as well. 0. Okay, where are we at? 0 to -7. Do I have these backwards? I guess it don't matter. 0 to -7. Whatever. We need the dummy location for this one. All right, let me save this. And this needs to be a single action, so we don't bother. So this 1, 2. Now, it could be like if we had something more complicated, fleeing from threat might not be a single action. Like the goal might determine, okay, should I go flee? Do I have like a place where I can flee to? Or maybe, hey, I'm going to flee to another group of goblins, which is going to like boost my courage, and now I'm going to go and attack you. So we could do that. But for now, we're just going to leave the flee from threat as a single goal. And so we got one, two, three actions there. So going to our goals, this will be 2. All right, fleeing. Let me look back in my actions. This move to this attack threat is threatened. It has to be the condition. Is threatened is condition, so that's all good. The goal is threatened. We need to add that too. Is threatened, and we'll add this to 1. Or we'll add 1 right here. Okay, so let me go to my goblin and move him down. So and we'll move him kind of over, out of range. So let's see. Let's turn him on. You know what I might start doing just so that you guys can see it better? Let's maximize it. I got to pause it though. Let me do that. So he's on. So now he's wandering like that. Let's do some gathering and see if we can get close to him and see what he does. Okay, let's pause it for a sec. Actually, not pause it. Let's click on him. And let's do that. He is in the flee. Haha, flee. He's in the flee mode. So let's go back to that goal and change that. He is fleeing, but he's just going up and down. So we got this incorrect. Flee distance is 10. Why? Okay, so I don't need those. Let me go back to my actions. I probably didn't set it in here. Yeah, I didn't do max. We're going to say 10. So let's see. Let's pause it for a sec. Let's turn this guy back on. Let's go gather and see if he starts to flee. I think so. He's definitely going away from us, isn't he? Let's just click on him. Maybe. Let's do that. Debugger and see. He's in the flee mode. He's not. My goal is wandering, so he is switching between both of them. Well, not right now, because there's no one near him. If I gather way over here, he's fleeing. Like, get me out of here. So that's pretty good. So we have 2 actions now. One is fleeing and one is attacking. Right now, because the priority is for fleeing, that's what he's going to do. How do we kind of make this a little bit more complicated? Like, how can we have it where maybe this goal only activates because of his health? That's what we need to do. So let's see how we can kind of do that. We're going to go to our stat controller. All right, we're going to add a stat called courage. Interactable. What am I looking for? There we go, stat controller. Let's go back up here. And, okay, where is it? See, I should probably have it here, but it's probably under the character stats. Character stats. All right, here's where we define our stats. So we're going to do another one. Oh, I don't know why I copied that. We're going to call this courage. And it's used for whether it will attack / flee from a threat. All right, so we're going to use that. And let's just see in our stat controllers. We're going to need another kind of script or something. Maybe I do a specific editor for our AI stat controller, because in here we're setting them by default, so I might need to have like a and this is not going to decrease dot courage. Whoops, what that? Dot courage, and this will be dot courage. We could have it on a scale of 0 to 100. So let's say his courage is 50. All right, how can we use this now? How do we use this? Well, we could go into both of our flee goals, our goal for fleeing and our goal for attacking. Let's see, threat sensor. Let's just do that for now. So sleep, eat, attack, attack threat. So here, no, we want it in our goals. Our attack goal. So here we have a threat. So now we're going to only attack if we have enough courage. So we're going to get a random. It's equal to random dot range AI agent dot stat controller dot controller stats dot stats, very long. And we want the courage stat. Actually, we don't want that here. Just kidding. I am going to need it, so I'm going to copy it, but this is from 0 to 100. All right, so we get that. What's going on? And then we're going to say if random is less than the courage, dot get value. Right, so we roll the die. It's like rolling a 100-sided die. And or percentile die. Get 2 d10s. You can do it. All right. Random is less than this. So if this was 100, the courage was 50, it would not do it. It would not attack. If the courage was 75 and this was 60, so the higher the courage, the more likely you'll fight. So we're going to return true. And we don't actually need to do this in the flee. We could, but we don't need to. So now if I go here and I go to my goblin, actually I can't change that stat in here. That's what I'm saying. I need something in the inspector to where I can change stats. Maybe I'll work on that in the next episode. Let's just do this. So now we have our wonderful goblin just minding its own business. And then comes the bad villagers. They're coming to destroy his. Now he's fleeing. Because remember, he has a 50% chance. He's still fleeing. He's like, nope, nope, I'm fleeing. Okay, so what's happening here? We gotta change the priorities. So the priority should be first to attack. So right here, priority is first to attack and then to flee. That should, I think. Because before, since his priority was fleeing, he was just always fleeing. Alright, go gather some trees, guys. Don't be afraid of the goblin. He's just walking around. Okay. Here, let's click on him. Okay, I think he's attacking. Yep. My goal is threat goal, move to threat. So now he's fleeing though. He had some courage. He went and bopped him on the head, and then he's like, nope, I'm out of here. I was brave enough to hit him once. So that is pretty cool. He's out of range because we have to have some way of, well, here, let me show you how to do it. Actually, no, I was going to put like a little box collider here where it would run into it. We can actually, how can we do that? Let me just play it really quick. Pause it. We can have it where the movement doesn't go past, let's see, doesn't go past like maybe right here. This is a negative. Well, actually, let me unparent this from the, oh yeah, okay. A negative 12. So maybe moving can never be less than negative 12. Do, 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 do. Actually, let me go to my AI agent. Well, I'll fix this off screen, or I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if you guys like seeing me mess around with this or not, this portion of it. But basically, let's see if I can just do this really quick though. Character controller, when we're moving. Okay, if it's less than this, if transform position is less than this, and have the map section. Map section ID is negative. If it's less than all of it, how do we move it back? Let's just test this out. If check if we are too far. So if map section ID is less than 0, then we're going to say map section ID is plus plus. So put it back. And we're going to say that the transform position dot dot x, right? Shoot. How do we make it move it back? Basically, we don't want it to move This is what we can do. We could come up here. We're going to say temp transform temp, or actually we could say vector 2 temp position is equal to a new, we can just say vector 2.0. So we're going to temporarily set this temp position is equal to this. Okay. Now if this happens, we're going to do an else. Put this here. So then we're going to move. We're going to say transform dot position is equal to temp position. If not, we're not going to move them. And this needs to be temp position. We're going to check the temp position of the local scale. So what we need, this needs to be a transform, I guess. Transform. What am I doing this for? What is this? Hold on. What was that? Why do I have to do this for? Does this matter? This is flipping it. Flipping the sprite. Why am I putting flipping the sprite? Why am I putting this inside the flipping sprite? That's dumb. Right? Oh, because... Okay, I see. This flips... Okay, so... let me take this out of here, and we'll actually put this here. Alright, so instead of checking the transform position, we want to check this with the target. And then we want to say this. Okay, temp position. Alright. So using that instead, and then it does this. And then we'll do the same thing here. Let me take this, put this in here. Let's do if this was a plus, I think. If map ID is greater than the okay, let's see. This. If it's greater than this, count. If it's greater than the count, and actually, get rid of that. It's greater than the count or equal to. Then we will say map section is minus. Map section ID is minus. Else, we'll then move it, and we will say this, transform this, be here, and then this needs to be the temp position, right? We want to do the temp position here, and that's it. All right, let's see if we just broke our game. But basically what it's doing is if we are less than the if we were going to try to change our map section and there are none to the left, so we're less than 0, then don't move us. Just don't move us. If we were, which is going to be a problem with our code for wandering, he's going to get stuck. But let's just see if that fixes it, and then we need to kind of make sure that we don't go out, our dummy location doesn't go outside the thing. Okay, he's not moving at all. We broke it. Let's pause it for a second. We're not getting any errors. Let's do the gather. Nice. Oh boy. If if map section ID is less than 0, else transform deposition is equal to temp position. Maybe we can't do this. Transform. It's less than it. If it's ID is less than 0, else the transform position is equal to temp position. Debug.log temp position plus temp position. Maybe we can't. Oh, you know what? Don't say 0. Let's say transform. Let's just say transform position. Let's see if that fixes it. Because I don't know what this function does completely. Let's just test this. We can do it with our dudes. Nope, that's not changing it. And that's very odd. So this is working. No, it's not working. This needs to be the transform dot position dot x plus this. When you add these two together, because the temp is just saying how far we should go, and so this needs to be this. We need to add dot x. We want that. Why can't we do that? We want to say this is dumb. This is dumb. I almost should just take this and do this then. I know. It should just do that. I mean, either way, I would have to. I mean, technically, we already got that move amount. Go to gather. Come on now. Come on, move. What am I doing wrong here? Temp transform position x plus the temp. You know what? We don't want to do that. We want. How can we do this? We just want. This is not making. This just isn't making sense to me. That's all there is to it. Just not making sense to me. this should be the temp. This should just be the temp position, right? Isn't that what it does? Isn't that what this does? Before I just had transform position. Isn't that what I had before? Golly. Let me just try this again. Oh, I didn't do it here though. I just still feel like let me just leave that. Let me just leave that there for now and test this out. Let me delete this. And leave that in there. So it's saying the temp position is a 0.5 and 0. So strange. Here, temp position is plus equal to transform dot position. Let's see if that changes things. Why can't I add these two vectors together? Come on. This is only getting. Are you kidding me? That's annoying. Temp position is equal to a new vector 2 transform dot position dot x. We want to add it with the temp. There's probably a better way to do this, but alright, if this doesn't work, I'm just going to pause the video and try to figure it out. Oh, it's having an error here. Transform dot position dot y. Okay, so if this doesn't work, I'm just going to end the video and not worry about it. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. Alright, well, I'll just probably undo everything and just figure this out later. But we did get it to where the goblin, based on its courage, it rolls a die, and whether or not it would attack or flee. You know, and we could have where, you know, some creatures don't flee at all, or some creatures only flee, you know, and maybe that fleeing would be still based upon the courage, so that you could perhaps have a chance to at least catch up to it and attack it. All right, well, thanks again for watching. I will see you next time.